Good evening, students. Now, I'm sure that you all must be preparing really hard for your INICT, which is just 15 to 17 days ahead, and also for the NEET PG exam. Now, you don't have much time left for these exams, so hardly 45 days are there for the NEET PG, and I'm sure all of you must be studying really hard, doing all the MCQs as much as you can, revising your syllabus, and doing past year questions, and also attempting the grand test. So now in this video I've come up with the MCQ part 4 series, in which I'm going to take MCQs from 61 question number 61 to question number 80. We are going to discuss each and every MCQ in detail and understand the pharmacology behind it. So let's start with that. Students, coming to this MCQ series part 4. Now the question number 61, which is true regarding the image provided. Now this is the image which is provided here. So this is basically a amla cream which is containing two substances, that is lidocaine and prilocaine. So this is amla cream and this contains two active substances, lidocaine and prilocaine. Now this amla cream is basically contraindicated in a blood cell disorder if the patient is already suffering from methemoglobinemia, liver disease or G6PD deficiency. Then this amla should not be given. So which is true? Amla contains ropivacaine, lidocaine? No, it contains lignocaine and prilocaine. It contains 5%? No, it is actually a 20% mixture. It acts within 15 minutes. It acts pretty fast. So the answer which is true here is that amla can lead to hemoglobinemia. This is a correct answer. The next question is that police bought a person from the railway track with features of dry, dilated pupil, ड्राई स्किन, स्लरिंग ऑफ स्पीच एंड ऑल्टर्ड सेंसोरियम. नाउ ये बहुत अच्छे से हमें समझ में आता है दैट ड्राई स्किन एंड डायलेटेड प्यूपिल दे बोथ इंडिकेट टूवर्ड्स धतूरा, बिकॉज धतूरा इज एक्चुअली एट्रोपा बेलाडोना एंड दिस एट्रोपा बेलाडोना में एल्कलॉइड जो होता है वो एट्रोपिन होता है एंड एट्रोपिन के जो इफेक्ट्स होते हैं वो होते हैं ड्राई माउथ एंड डिक्रीज GI मोटिलिटी, which are symptoms. Swallowing becomes difficult, speech is unintelligible, urinary retention होता है, bladder distension होता है and patient को कई बार catheterization भी करना पड़ता है. Now what is the drug which is used? Atropine. Atropine is the drug here, and another alkaloid present in dhatura is hyoscine also. Now here itself I would like to tell you about the what are the uses of atropine. So atropine is basically used in bradycardia, vagal syncope. It is a part of pre-anesthetic medication. Which is the drug which is used here? That is glycopyrrolate. So glycopyrrolate is actually the atropine congener which is used. It is the antidote for OPC poisoning and for certain carbomet and mushroom poisonings. Then it is used in the treatment of iridocyclitis and for facilitating refractory procedures on children also. Hyoscine is an antispasmodic. Then its का जो main action है that is motion sickness. So this is the main action. It is used as a transdermal patch in motion sickness, right? Then another important question number 63. Which ion is most responsible for resting membrane potential? It is potassium ion. Potassium ion is the most important because it is the जब hyperpolarization हो जाता है तो उसको वापस कौन लेकर आता है? This is potassium, right? So resting membrane potential is determined by difference in the potassium ions inside and outside the cells. Which ion is most responsible for the I think by mistake it is repeated. Which is the drug of choice for preoperative antibiotic prophylaxis in a patient undergoing cardiac surgery? So a patient who is already undergoing cardiac surgery and he has to take a preoperative antibiotic prophylaxis, the drug of choice is cefazolin. Cefazolin is the drug of choice for preoperative antibiotic prophylaxis in cardiac surgery. Vancomycin may be considered in cases methicillin resistant MRSA colonization. Penicillin allergic patients में clindamycin can be used. This is a first generation. Cefazolin is a first generation cephalosporin and is known for its broad spectrum coverage and efficacy against common skin bacteria also. Question number 66. A 26-year-old woman after severe bleeding due to PPH develops acute renal failure. Serum glucose is 150, sodium is normal, potassium is 6.5. पोटेशियम बहुत ज़्यादा है, बाइकार्बोनेट इज़ 15. व्हाट इज़ द नेक्स्ट स्टेप? तो देखो सीरम ग्लूकोज भी हाई है, पोटेशियम भी हाई है, सीधा आप क्या करोगे यहाँ पे, यू विल टेक GI ड्रिप. So the answer is GI drip. If you use calcitonin used in hypercalcemia, Maxsulf is used in preeclampsia. Sodium chloride will actually worsen the condition here. So we will use 100 ml of 50% glucose with insulin. Insulin क्या करेगा, जो पोटेशियम होता है ना, it will drive the potassium back into the cells. So जो ये हाइपरकलीमिया हो रखा है इसको ठीक करता है. सो कलीमिया इट बेसिकली पोटेशियम का जो कॉन्सेंट्रेशन है वो ठीक करेगा आपकी बॉडी में, एंड ग्लूकोज को भी ठीक करेगा, राइट. देन क्वेश्चन नंबर 67, विच इज़ रॉन्गली मैच्ड. रॉन्ग, अब यहाँ पे देखो हमेशा क्वेश्चन में समझो कि हमसे पूछा क्या जा रहा है, व्हाट इज़ द कैच, दे आर आस्किंग रॉन्गली मैच्ड क्या है, ठीक है. सो व्हाट इज़ द नाउ द ऑप्शन दैट इज़ गिवन इज dabigatran and idarucizumab, rivaroxaban and edixanet alpha, fondaparinux and siraparantag, aprixaban plus andinexta alpha. So the correct answer here is, this is the wrongly matched, fondaparinux and siraparantag. Now basically idarucizumab is a monoclonal antibody against dabigatran. So this is a drug which is going to act against dabigatran. Dabigatran is a factor 10A, oral thrombin inhibitor. Andixanet alpha is antidote for factor 10A inhibitors. It is FDA approved for reversing the effect of factor 10A inhibitor, which is rivaroxaban and apixaban. So ये जो andixanet है, ये जो है factor 10A inhibitors के against antidote है. It is FDA approved for reversing their effects. It is not approved for reversal or of anticoagulant effect of other 10A inhibitors. Now siraparantag is an investigational drug for reversal of anticoagulant effect of number of anticoagulants, including rivaroxaban, apixaban, dabigatran and heparin. So although it is antidote against fondaparinux also, but it is not approved yet. So out of all these questions, this is the answer which is the most best possible answer. So this is a question जो कि आपको confuse करेगा, आप इसमें confuse होगे कि क्या करना है क्या करना है. तो अब यहाँ पे point क्या आ रहा है, यहाँ पे आ रहा है क्या है कि ये approved है कि नहीं. So it is there, but is it approved? तो point यहाँ पे approved का है, तो फिर ये वाला आंसर सही बैठेगा, क्योंकि ये अप्रूव्ड है, ये अप्रूव्ड है, ये अप्रूव्ड है, ये वाला अप्रूव्ड नहीं है. सो दिस इज द आंसर हियर. नेक्स्ट वी कम टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 68. ऑफ्थेल का क्वेश्चन है. अ पेशेंट हैड सिम्टम्स ऑफ रेडनेस एंड फोटोफोबिया इन द आई. ऑन एग्जामिनेशन सेल्स वर प्रेजेंट इन एंटीरियर चेंबर विद केरेटिक प्रेसिपिटेट्स. इंट्राओकुलर प्रेशर वॉज 38 मिलीमीटर मर्करी. नाउ विच एंटी ग्लोकोमा ड्रग शुड बी अवॉइडेड. सो अब यहाँ पे इसका मतलब है कि बेसिकली यहाँ पे क्या है, इन्फेक्शन है, ठीक है. इन्फेक्शन की कंडीशन है आँख में, एंड उसका जो इंट्राओकुलर प्रेशर है वो भी बढ़ गया है. तो हम पीजी एनालॉग्स अवॉइड करेंगे, या हम बीटा ब्लॉकर्स अवॉइड करेंगे, या हम मैनिटॉल अवॉइड करेंगे, या कार्बोनिक एनहाइड्रेट्स अवॉइड करेंगे. तो यहाँ पे आंसर है पीजी एनालॉग्स. Presence of cells and keratic precipitates in the anterior chamber suggest inflammation, which is likely to be anterior uveitis, and PG analogs are contraindicated in the presence of inflammation as they are themselves mediators of inflammation. So the correct answer is PG analogs. We do not use PG analogs in a patient having uveitis and keratitis. Then medicine का question. A hypertensive patient has grade 4 renal failure. GFR is less than 30. Now physician wants to prescribe a thiazide diuretic. So which is the best drug here? Now thiazide में इन्होंने options दिए, hydrochlorothiazide, chlorthalidone, metolazone and indapamide. So यहाँ पे answer is metolazone. Why? Because see, thiazides are ineffective when the GFR falls below 30 to 40. Metolazone maintains its efficacy to a GFR of 20 to 30. So in this case, ये जो बाकी के थायजाइड्स हैं, ये अपनी एफिकेसी छोड़ देंगे, लेकिन मेट्रोलazone will continue. Coming to the next question, inhaled NO is used for the treatment of. Inhaled NO is used in pulmonary hypertension. Please remember, pulmonary hypertension में हमें जो vasodilatation की action चाहिए in the pulmonary vessels, that is done by nitric oxide or nitrous oxide and other drugs like bosentan, which is an endothelin receptor antagonist. So we also use bosentan. Bosentan is other drug which is used in pulmonary hypertension, right? Remember that. So here the answer is pulmonary hypertension. Here it is very much useful. Then now this is a drug, nivolumab. It is a monoclonal antibody used in the treatment of Hodgkin's lymphoma. Why? Let us see. Nivolumab is an anti-immune checkpoint inhibitor. It is a monoclonal antibody against programmed death receptor PD-1, and by this action it is approved for treatment of melanomas, non-small cell lung carcinoma, renal cell carcinoma, Hodgkin's lymphoma, squamous cell carcinoma, urothelial. So lot of solid tumors, lung carcinomas it is used, and this is a drug which is actually acting against programmed death receptor. So इसको ये inhibit करती है, इसकी monoclonal antibody है which is nivolumab. Please remember this name. Question number 73. A patient is taking chemotherapy, cyclophosphamide, methotrexate and 5-fluorouracil for treatment of breast cancer. Now she develops fever and she is found to have anemia and neutropenia. Which antimicrobial is not indicated in this patient? अब यहाँ पे भी देखो आप, नॉट इंडिकेटेड है ना, यहाँ पे पूछ रहे हैं नेगेटिव आंसर कि कौन सी दवाई है जो नहीं इंडिकेटेड होगी. सो नॉट इंडिकेटेड में अब हमारे पास ऑप्शन देखो, पिप्राजिलिन, टैजोबैक्टम, सेफेपाइम, लाइनेजोलिड, मेरोपेनम. तो यहाँ पे आंसर क्या है? लाइनेजोलिड. क्यों? क्योंकि लाइनेजोलिड इज़ अ बैक्टीरियोस्टैटिक ड्रग, और जब हम यहाँ पे कैंसर की कीमोथेरेपी दे रहे हैं तो वहाँ पे हमको जो ड्रग चाहिए वो चाहिए होती है साइडल. सो इसीलिए लाइनेजोलिड इज़ अ बैक्टीरियोस्टैटिक ड्रग एंड शुड बी अवॉइडेड इन पेशेंट्स immunosuppressed conditions. Other drugs can be given. They are both all bactericidal drugs. Question number 74. A patient on reticabine therapy for a month for focal seizures, phenytoin was added. What is the next step? So now here, when you add phenytoin to reticabine, you have to increase the dose. Why? Because reticabine, its मेटाबॉलिज्म इज़ इंड्यूस्ड बाय फेनेटोइन एंड कार्बामाज़ेपिन. तो जैसे ही फेनेटोइन ऐड किया तो क्या किया इसने? मेटाबॉलिज्म को आपने इंड्यूस करा दिया, और मेटाबॉलिज्म इंड्यूस होते ही वो फास्ट मेटाबोलाइज होकर और फटाफट निकल जाएगी. तो इसलिए वी हैव टू इंक्रीज द डोज ऑफ रेटिकाबीन. सो दैट इज़ द आंसर. मेजर एडवर्स इफेक्ट ऑफ रेटिकाबीन इज़ रेटिनल टॉक्सिसिटी. प्लीज़ रिमेंबर दिस. सो रेटिकाबीन थेरेपी पे फेनेटोइन ऐड करोगे तो इंक्रीज द डोज. दिस इज द आंसर. विच ड्रग कैन बी यूज्ड फॉर ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ सिवियर कोविड-19 न्यूमोनिया इन चिल्ड्रन? कोविड-19 न्यूमोनिया के लिए हम बच्चों में देंगे स्टेरॉइड्स. स्टेरॉइड्स आर द ओनली ड्रग्स विच आर शोन टू हैव मॉर्टेलिटी बेनिफिट्स. रेमडेसिविर भी दिया गया था. रेमडेसिविर वॉज ऑल्सो गिवन ड्यूरिंग कोविड, एंड हाउएवर इट इज़ नॉट अप्रूव्ड इन चिल्ड्रन. प्लीज रिमेंबर दिस. Remdesivir is not approved in the small children. Ivermectin can be used for mild cases, not approved for use in adults or children. Now, question number 76. We administer a drug following first order kinetics. If the administered dose is doubled. अब यहाँ पे first order kinetics में आप समझो, एक तो clearance जो है constant होता है, rate of elimination is directly proportional to प्लाज्मा कॉन्सेंट्रेशन. जितना प्लाज्मा कॉन्सेंट्रेशन बढ़ेगा, रेट ऑफ एलिमिनेशन उतना ही बढ़ेगा. सो अभी आपने जैसे डोज को डबल किया तो प्लाज्मा कॉन्सेंट्रेशन बिकम्स डबल एंड एलिमिनेशन हाफ लाइफ रिमेन्स सेम. दिस इज द आंसर हियर. बिकॉज प्लाज्मा कॉन्सेंट्रेशन एलिमिनेशन हाफ लाइफ रिमेन्स सेम, ये होगा नहीं. एलिमिनेशन हाफ लाइफ डबल नहीं होगी, क्योंकि यहाँ पे फर्स्ट ऑर्डर काइनेटिक्स में ऑलवेज रिमेंबर हाफ लाइफ एंड क्लियरेंस दे ऑलवेज रिमेन कॉन्स्टेंट. Rate of elimination is directly proportional to plasma concentration. So this is the answer. Question number 77. Now which is correctly matched regarding intrinsic resistance to antifungal? मतलब ऐसे ये कॉम्बिनेशन में चेक करो कि कौन सी दवाई इंट्रिंसिकली रेजिस्टेंट होगी उस पर्टिकुलर फंगस को। अब ये अगेन देखो फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन है, दिस इज़ अ फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन, इसमें आपको अपना रिकॉल ही लगाना है, सो योर रिकॉल शुड बी गुड। The question is that which is a correct match regarding intrinsic resistance to antifungals. So here we have Aspergillus niger matched with voriconazole, Candida glabrata matched with amphotericin B, Candida krusei matched with fluconazole, and Aspergillus marnifi matched with micafungin. So here the answer is Candida krusei, which is basically intrinsically resistant to fluconazole. And so Candida krusei should be treated with echinocandins or voriconazole. Preferred drug are echinocandins with transition to oral fluconazole or voriconazole if isolate is susceptible. For resistant cases we can use liposomal amphotericin B also. Question number 78. What is topiramate used for? Now out of the given answers, the answer here is Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. It is again a factual question. So here topiramate is used for Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. Topiramate is actually an anti-epileptic and it acts by multiple mechanisms, in which it includes sodium channel blockade, potassium channel opening, enhances GABA activity, blocks AMPA glutamate receptors, weak carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. Now it is primarily used for refractory focal seizures, GTCS, Lennox-Gastaut, and apart from epilepsy it is also used in anti-craving drug of alcohol, obesity, migraine prophylaxis, and bipolar disorder. So topiramate has got lot of uses. This is a paragraph which explains the details about topiramate. Coming to question number 79, which is not the off-label use of risperidone? Now please remember here the question is not. So is post-traumatic stress disorder not the off-label use? OCD, dementia, and bipolar disorder. So off-label uses of risperidone कौन से हैं? यहाँ पे bipolar disorder is not an off-label use. It is basically FDA approved for treatment of bipolar disorder. Risperidone is an antipsychotic drug and it is an atypical antipsychotic drug, and it is actually FDA approved for the treatment of bipolar disorder. So we cannot say bipolar disorder as the off-label use of risperidone, right? So off-label, it can be used for anxiety, ADHD, OCD, to treat agitation and dementia. They've been found to be effective, and PTSD. So these are off-label use. Question number 80, the last question in this series. Which is FDA approved drug for long-term treatment of obesity? Now long-term treatment of obesity mein we have got liraglutide, which is the approved FDA approved anti-obesity drug. Another drug which is nowadays very famous is semaglutide, and setmelanotide is also a drug which is now used for anti-obesity. So out of all the sibutramine, liraglutide, metformin, and fenfluramine, liraglutide is the drug which can be used in a long-term management of obesity.